Let's get going. Motherboard.
Not really, mate. I think it's going to go rain, yeah.
Right, I'm on my way.
So,
Yes, it is. I don't normally use Apple phones or watches or things, but with moving all my PCs over to Macs and stuff, I end up moving everything at the same time. So whenever I'm using Mac machines, I'll go all in with all the tech. But the biggest problem with Apple stuff is definitely the phone is the weakest part of them all. I'd say the camera's just absolutely useless. So I'm just going to do these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 caps, 7 caps in this area here, and then we're going to tackle this chip. This is the sound chip. When I've typed this into Google, this is the PSG or whatever it's called sound chip. Basically the natural sounding sound, not the digital stuff. So that'll explain the sound issues we've got on this board, I'd say. So hopefully this will be all fixed up once we've done this. Definitely want to autofocus on this overhead one though, to be so much more convenient. Hey, welcome back. It's done exactly 1 cap since we last went on it. That one. And then, oh no, now Zach's had the job. He's doing all the others for me. I'll do this nice little board here, and then we're done. And I've got to fix this. This is the sound chip, so it's almost definitely going to be the cause of the sound. This is like your natural sound generation, your non-digital one. So hopefully we can fix this up. That'll sort that problem out. Oh, and I do actually sell a cap kit for this. So I was sitting there yesterday getting them all out of a kit, and I even sell one. And it would have shown me how many caps are in it as well, but I just got the bags. We didn't actually end up having one because we want to go out for one now instead of like, not a massive fan of the takeaway ones. It's much nicer eating them out fresh, so we figured we'd probably just go out for one in a few more days. Just had cheese on toast instead. Completely different. 100 micro 10 volt. Hey, welcome. Soldering, or I think we can use it.
Let's see.
You just have that cheap plastic solder. Just get rid of it. I'm using tons on this bloody, like cleaning the holes. Oh yeah, it was still good. It's one of the nicest things to have when you just fancy something like it. That, and then I had Easter eggs, obviously. So it was a good tea. Cheese on toast and 2 Easter eggs. Where were we on this? There. Those two. I've fixed the lighting a bit as well. It was actually the main overhead light was what was causing all the shine, not the new light. So it's literally hanging out my ceiling at an angle to move it away from directly above my head, and that seems to have fixed that glare quite a lot. Oh, Branston pickle, I eat that out the jar. I love Branston pickle. I'll literally just get a spoon and eat it. Yeah, we've been having issues. We're on, I think we're on Virgin, yeah we are. Yeah, we had issues, I think it was a few days ago with it. But luckily the main fibre is literally 2 meters to my right. It's literally the opposite side of the wall on the main road. So we get like 1.2 gig fibre, and like one of the main connections is literally outside the house. But then when they're doing any work on that, it means we lose internet. But they're not too bad, to be honest. We rarely get outages. I still need to make the little app for this JBC Iron so we can see like a power meter. I thought of putting like Dragon Ball Z characters on based on the power level, so you could see if you're using a big joint, it like changes your characters. That'd be quite cool. And put Krillin at the bottom when it's not even in use. I think it'll be consumer, to be honest. This one will be. We had both. Yeah, the Krillin hate. Right, got these three. So we've got, can't see till it's out, brown, green, red. We'll just take all three out. It's hot to air these three out maybe. And then brown, green, red. Yeah, we'll be coax straight into the house because I have to repair the connection inside the house. One of these the other way. Yeah, it is. It's these three. Oh, not even on the right camera for you guys. No. Oh yeah, no, it's not even an option on the website. This was just like, say, a favour to the guy that wanted it doing. It's in the middle of my face there. I've got some random cable. Oh, that's the microscope. I've got to be careful on this one as well because there's a plastic switch right by these, so might be worth preheating the board and then using an iron, I think. Yeah, I'd probably end up kicking that switch to change it. We'll do that and then we'll go to iron now, I think. Once I've done the streaming software thing, I can give you guys control of the cameras anyway, and the focus. So I could like make subs have control of the cameras, and then you can just pull focus and swap scenes when you like and leave it up to you guys. Brown, green, and then red last. I could also do, I think that's what I mentioned, once I've done the software, I could actually make the software analyse the screen and pull focus, but then it's probably quite a lot of work to like write software related autofocus, maybe. Easier to just have subs capable of controlling it. Right, that's them three out. Let's clear the holes. These three, where are we? Those three there. And the customers confirmed that apparently these, well, this entire system hasn't been worked on except for changing a belt. So that means potentially either that's right and those random ceramic caps I'll show you in a minute are like a factory bodge as well as the other bodge, or somebody's previously worked on this that the shop is unaware of. But like I say, I've only worked on a few, so I couldn't really say or remember, unless the wiki's got photos of the last ones I worked on, because I think I've done some stuff on the wiki on it, so maybe that's got some photos of the insides maybe, and we could see if it matched. Where's the solder wick going? It's not filling up, but the solder's coming off. That's weird. You solder wick the holes, but the wick itself is barely used. That's an empty cap hole as well. So are those clear? They look a little bit rusty, don't they, as well? Them holes. It's quite dark. Yeah, I think this is one of the caps that's maybe leaked originally, because that hole's a little bit nasty. So we've obviously got a cap leak here that's done damage here. So I would have said it would have been like, you know, these, but it looks like it might have been this one that's leaked out over. So let's see if that's cleared them holes or not. So top one was brown, which is the chat not coming through on top of there? Oh, I think it's Facebook. I keep forgetting that doesn't show up on stream. Blurry on second cam. Oh yeah, I pull focus manually if that's what you're on about in there. This is a WonderMega for those that actually didn't see yesterday. I should probably have shown that off. So this thing here, big WonderMega. It's like basically a. I'll show you what it is or what it's equivalent of. This is obviously a Mega Drive 2, but Mega Drive, Mega CD. The WonderMega is same thing, Mega Drive, Mega CD, but they have karaoke stuff as well. So pretty much a Japanese version of this, but with karaoke added. And then this is that thing I was on about, where there's no metal plate on this at all, and locks in, like, other than it lifting up there, which is just free to lift, it's rock solid, so there's no metal plate on the Mega Drive 2, whereas the Mega Drive 1 has like a metal plate to make it sturdy. Controlling the cameras, just I'm using Companion to just send commands to different switches. So I think all the cameras are just an OBS, and I'm just switching OBS scenes, and then the overlays are all kinds of different stuff. Some of it's my stuff, some of it's Streamlabs, and it's soon to be replaced with my own software. Yep, this is a battery iron. We're actually sponsored by JBC, so that's the little thing there on, well, on the horizontal it's there, on the vertical it's there. So this is, I can bring it in. It's literally a battery powered, but they have to unplug the back a minute. Battery powered kit like this. Not a very good angle. So there. And you can have a screen that connects and shows you the iron live. So this is all the temperature profiles, and I can, if I plug that back in, I can use software on the computer. I'll probably have to connect this up a minute, move that over to the screen. Right, that's kicked in. show it on screen. They have to toggle window. There we go, and then drag this to the corner. I think it is roughly. So there's like the software, and then if I use the iron, see how it's gone from hibernation to work because I've picked it up. If I just solder a random blob a minute, see I solder down here. You'll see that you can barely see it on here, but the I haven't got it on there, showing it off to Facebook people, and you can't even see. So there's the software. As I touch, you can kind of see the power levels, but with it being the software on the Mac not being very bright or clear, I'm going to write my own software that kind of just shows a power level, which is the main interesting thing, like iron temperature and power level. So that's what, as it's called, the B iron. There should be a link a link everywhere except Facebook, to be honest. So I'll probably add. We did say we're going to add like an overlaid little link, but if you go to retro6.co.uk, the link's all over the website. I can paste it into Facebook just so you know. It's basically, that's what I'm using. Oh yeah, you definitely know we're doing that. It's 100% going to be done. Right, so 100, 110 again, is it? Yeah, 110. Oh yeah, did you spot the Mega Drive 2? Were you back on stream when I showed that off? But it's got literally, as you can see, no metal cage, and it's rock solid, other than you can lift it up at the left side obviously, but other than that it's solid. Green is, okay, so they've got two different colour caps, probably exactly the same. Must have just ran out of caps from certain factories. I'll actually put that cap in back. That was a good catch. Flip him out. So was yours like the one I showed off without the bracket? It's solid down, but you can lift it up at the left. Is that what you were meaning by loose in the first place? 22 microfarad. Three. Do some soldering of this now. Yeah, see, mine doesn't feel loose at all unless you literally lift it up from the side, but I think that's mainly the feet, to be honest. How many caps have you managed to do so far? 21 I've done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I haven't soldered 3 of them. See, the stream slows me down. I think if you knocked, then yeah, it'd probably move enough to maybe disconnect. I don't know. I didn't even know there was a metal bracket for the Mega Drive 2 though, to be honest. I just know the Mega Drive 1. So we've got 1, 2, I think we'll just finish the caps off, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 more on this board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. So this board is definitely going to get done as well. I've got 4 more left and then I've got to fix that chip. two over here. So the plan is swap these two and these two, and then we'll lift off this. The only thing is it's going to be a little bit tricky because we've got this. I want to be really careful of this, the power switch. That is a custom switch and I do not want to melt it in any way. Yeah, he says, can he give us yours? He's got a WonderMega do as well. Probably take you about half an hour. I've been on it for 3 hours already. Yeah, I'm gonna have to I should have probably left them caps off as well, so I had more room to work on this. And we've got this bodge wire here that I've got to be careful of. So we just really want to, only got plastic here, want to protect this area. Bodge wire here and here. I can just see this being I think we need to probably photograph this. Like, I probably need to screenshot this where it is now, because if wires come loose, then I need to know where they've gone. So let me save that. That's one screenshot. And then this, I'm going to photograph this as well. So I've got all that kind of weird stuff going on. And then I don't think this is going to get damaged all the way down here. I can't imagine that. But these are what I'm on about. So if this has never been worked on, is this actually factory? It might well be, but this does not look factory to me at all. But maybe it is. Let me check on the wiki, see if we had. See if we had any photos of the last one I worked on. WonderMega hardware overview. No, I was lazy. I just basically photographed the outside of the console. So we have no internals to go off, and I can't remember off the top of my head. But there's more bodge wires down here, so maybe it is just SEGA. They are fairly common to look like this, just hand fixing stuff after production. So yeah, we'll come to this in a minute. So let's just get these last four done. So flip over to that one and get this off. Oh, actually, I can get this top one to autofocus as well. I keep forgetting. It's I just need to upgrade. Oh no, actually. Oh, actually, I think it's got autofocus. I was going to say I need to replace it with. I had a studio camera. The one that's now doing the face cam was actually the one that was above my head, and I brought a Blackmagic 6K. So I think I'm being stupid, and I'm pretty sure this can already do autofocus. But then why would I have brought this manual focus if it can? I'm sure it can. Or was it not the... Oh no, I think the one above me has the Pocket 6K. And I think it's the... I'm confused now. I think it's like the non-Pocket Blackmagic that can do the autofocus and software. I can't remember. There's got to be a reason why I'm doing it manually. Oh yeah, I've literally got Blackmagic's website to open at the minute as well for looking at buying another camera, because I just tried it on the microscope, you know. Try to put the Blackmagic the side camera on the microscope, but with it being a full frame sensor, well, more full frame than the microscope ones, it's way like you have to have it 4 foot in the air for it to focus. which is a shame because the Blackmagic lens would have been amazing for a microscope view. Green is 100. Not really, used it briefly, but we can swap it maybe tomorrow when I'm not in here doing stuff, see what he thinks, because I personally love it, but like I say, there's convenience of doing this, and it's never run out. Like it's, don't even know what battery percentage we're on. Let me connect it to this screen. Connection lost, settings. How do I connect it back on the app? I can't remember. I think you have to kill the app, don't you, and go back in. But I'm tempted to try the Nano. The fact that this large one is never running out of battery. What do you use at the minute? Is it the? It's just the knockoff, isn't it, you've got? Yeah. Sacrilege, we've got tea in a coffee cup.
What's that?
I've got tea in the really expensive coffee cup. Yeah, it's one of them. You think the clones are good until you have the real ones, and then you realise they're not even the same thing at all. But then again, like I say, no irons had the main thing with the iron. I think I've shown it off a few times. Is say you want to solder these pins or something, and put a bit of flux on for the sake, but these are already quite clean looking. But if you put the power on, this is obviously the tip's way overpowered for this leg. But say you do this and put a bit of if I can find, well, hand-eye coordination without looking at the real thing. So there you go. You go on these legs, say, and just leave the iron on. And look, it's not burning, it's not over bubbling. It tapers down the power. Once it knows it's molten, it lowers the power. So it's hard to like explain, but when you've used all the irons, like I can just leave this iron on the pins. Like I'm not, just leave it there. That'd normally be bubbling away, burning. Just literally leave it on. Nothing. No damage, no nothing. So I think that's the main thing that I think makes it so impressive or so different than every other iron I've used. That it adjusts the power as you're going. So you can like just rub up and down legs and it changes the power based on what's there. So see on the big pad, it's done that again. It just basically never overpowers. And you can tell that from looking at the screen, that's how you know. Yeah, the battery's at like 86%, it just constantly recharges, and I've never had it even, since I fully charged it, it's never gone below, I think, 75% when we were doing that massive AV port power plane. So yeah, I'll end up getting another one, I think. But yeah, I wanted to try the Nano because this one's, like I say, so overpowered anyway for anything I need to do, that I reckon the Nano being thinner and a bit easier to hold and still be more than powerful enough for most of the things you do. But I don't mind this larger iron anyway. It's not even, I don't even notice it holding it. And I've already got used to the complete lack of wire. I don't think I could go back to a wire now on an iron. Ow, that's hot. That one is 10 microfarads, 16 volt. And this is also the cheap desolder wick as well, which we didn't use because it never worked. But with this iron, even this mechanic cheap desolder wick, it works fine as well. Website for the iron, one sec, I'll paste it in. It says the cheap desolder wick works, and then this is a ground plane, isn't it? I think we just need to give it the V4 screen info. There's obviously the website with the purchase page will have the link for the all of them in there, but it's GGCS, so for like Game Gear clean screen, ggcs.retro6.co.uk. And then that's where you can connect it to the PC and get the device ID in there. So let's solder that in. How much is the Nano JBC? I think we said, didn't we say it was just the same price as this large one? I bet it was. $600-ish, yeah, so it's a similar price to this, I think, maybe a tiny bit cheaper. I might have to grab one just to play, but I'm pretty sure we're being sponsored though. Even if they didn't give it me, I'd be able to buy it with a nice discount, hopefully. With them only just sending this one. I don't know whether they want to send me another this soon, but I'm more curious myself as how good the Nano is going to be and how much, is it going to be any noticeable difference with holding it, because this looks big, like here looks massive, and I think you're meant to hold it like down here, but then it's top heavy, so I hold it here naturally, and it's like almost where the central gravity is. Central gravity is quite far over, pretty much on like the C, I'd say. Yeah. So central gravity is technically here to hold it with no weight distribution, but I hold it like there, and you don't notice, but there's a tiny bit of weight there, maybe, if you really wanted to think about it. So the Nano is like, I think, half the thickness, so that's why I want to maybe try it. Right, so we've got 2 left now down here, these 2, so edge of the board one will be nice and easy. And what I'm doing on these is warming up one pad and then bending right the way out, he says. Every time I go show you something, I don't do it. So that one leg is fully out. And then once we know one leg's out, we can warm up the other pad, so we don't have to bounce the iron between 2 different pads. Basically, you can just leave it on one and then pull it out like that. And desolder wick. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at anybody fancies looking it up. See if the Blackmagic 6K pocket cam has autofocus, or whether it's just a I think we'll hot air that one. Whether it's just a non-pocket version, which I didn't even know they did. I thought all of the handheld ones were called pocket, but I think there's one that isn't. Yeah, let's just hot air these and being lazy on these holes. You'd think these 2 are clear easy, but I think the power planes, both of them, so a bit quicker, just use the hot air. 10 again. So best for the lives, to be honest, the best is Twitch. It seems to be the most stable, and I always go live on there. YouTube, I think the problem with YouTube's been the way OBS works is I think you have to open up similar to Facebook, I think you have to open up the go live page first before connecting a stream, otherwise it doesn't work. So today I opened it up first and it went live with the first click. So YouTube and Twitch are the permanent ones. TikTok I might try once more at some point, basically. But they just kept banning me every single time we went live. They kept banning me for selling products, apparently, even though I wasn't talking about selling products on majority of them. So I just gave up. I got sick of spending the time going live, wasting the stream bandwidth, if you will, for them to just ban me. So I'd go on them too. I think going forward they'd be the main two anyway. Easy way to remove surface mount Amiga 1200. The surface mount caps, if you want to do it the way I do it, it'd be hot air, but there's certain areas, I think I've done quite a few streams on the Amiga 1200, there's quite a few areas where there's plastic or ID connectors and things, so you might want to, in that rare instance, sometimes you might want to twist them off, which I only do in situations where there's more chances of you damaging, say, plastic on the board than there is you potentially ripping a trace by twisting. So it depends on skill level and risk, really, but you can get SMD caps off with hot air, just hot air around them, not directly on them, and lower your hot air to like 350. I think I was trying to find the perfect temps before, but I'm sure it's about 350 Celsius, and you can just hot air in a circle around the caps, never straight over, and then they'll come off nice and easy without popping. No location, please select obviously. Basically that's saying that it tries to put the device into bootloader mode, and then it should appear on your PC as an RP2350. So when it does that, it's effectively asking you to then select the folder, that specific Pi folder. And if it detects that it's not a Pi, then it complains and says you're basically trying to download the file to the wrong place. So let's see if that works for you. And as soon as you see the device ID, just make a note anyway, because then we have ways around being able to upgrade it if it ever goes wrong. So I'm going to probably make it where the website, as soon as it detects device IDs, logs them and keeps them in the browser history, so it can kind of show you a history of all the boards you've ever plugged in if anything goes wrong, and then you can update it without doing anything. Ooh, nice new member. Right, this is the last cap I've got to do. I've officially done about 10 caps on these 65 caps now, and that was more than enough. And that's all the caps done. What's left then? So I think now we need to just fix that sound chip, I think. So that's, yeah, every cap. Oh no, we've missed one up here because we've got the black dot on it. So this one's got a bodge wire on it, on the ground wire, so I'll have to make sure we put that back on. So warm up the pad and then I'll push down on the cap. Then if it doesn't come all the way out, you can go this side. I'll probably have to pull the other out a little bit. It's a bit too long to fully bend out. Ooh, and it's hot now as well. So that's one fully out there, and now you can just warm up the other leg without having to worry. Get it nice and hot, and then pull it out. So I'm going to come from this side because we've got the bodge wire attached. Otherwise, the bodge wire is not going to let the cap come out. So that wire was actually all the way through. Clean power, boom LPSU. Nice, yeah. If you've got the SEGA Saturn clean power, just double check because some of the old batches had a power on switch left turned on by the factory by mistake. Let me see if I've got one in here. Look in here. It's a Blackmagic 6K. I don't know what mount it is. It's got a CNE, a Canon 770-200. I think it's a Canon E mount, but it looks like it's the F mount because the Canon's going straight into it. But if you look up a 70-200 Canon cinema lens, it's about 4 or 5 grand. That fits straight in, so I think it's a EF mount. Yeah, so on this, if you just double check, yeah, so see this one, for example, straight out of the bag. This is some old stock. Make sure you turn this off because if this is on, when you're plugging in the USB, it tries to power these up straight away and it'll fail because it needs to, the USB needs to come up first. So this is a way to leave this off, plug the USB in, and if you're not connecting the SEGA Saturn's power switch, you can then just use this to turn it on and turn it off. But just make sure that's turned off, which is this side. Otherwise, it won't boot up. Details. So, let's have a look. Again, make me type that number out, don't you? Let me go. Do this free upgrade. GG clean screen. Is it only on compatible lenses? Yeah, this is a compatible lens. Pretty sure it is. So is this one meant to have it? Because is there a 6K that isn't pocket as well? Because I've got a feeling if so, then I'm sure I remember reading that it has to be the non-pocket version, and I think this is the pocket. Go to this overhead as well so nobody can see my typing. Not that it really matters, it's not something that's pretty cool. There you go, that's now unlocked on Ultra. If you just click the refresh button, you'll get Ultra on there. I've got Elgato on. Click in 1 second. we go, a little FaceTime from Rusty. Right, last cap. 10 microfarad. 10 microfarad. And then those will be the 5 caps left that we did yesterday on this board already. Oh yeah, there's I actually did go to make a company at some point. I think it's Sabita in Japanese as Rusty. So there was going to be a company specifically called Rusty in Japanese. Where is that cap we just removed? I literally can't find it. Anybody remember where that cap was I was just working on? Ah, there, by the bodgeway. So we've got to clear these holes. How do we become a member to join? At the minute, the members are on YouTube, so YouTube member or a Twitch sub, and then you get your chat will appear live on the stream, and if you type in the YouTube or Twitch email into our Discord, there's a hidden Elite Members channel in there, and you also get 10% off all orders on our website. I think I could possibly link it in with Facebook. People have mentioned it a few times. I think Facebook do offer a kind of subscription thing. I just haven't had time to set it up yet. But I'd go to Twitch or YouTube if you want to basically get your chat up on stream, and then you'll see it much sooner, or I'll see it much sooner rather. Latest film, I think at the time when I brought it I did, yeah. But it's I know they released it as like a software update, and it's something to do with the lens, the type of lens on it. It's got pixels that can autofocus basically, and if the type of Blackmagic camera you've got hasn't got them pixels in the sensor, then you can't get autofocus. But I literally brought this camera, I think, for that reason, and then after realised they did a 6K that wasn't a pocket, so that's why I think I ended up wasting the money on the wrong camera. I might be wrong though. Right, this is now officially the last cap, so we can get on to fixing that thing now. So that is definitely all of them. Let's look at doing this. So what we're going to have to do here, yeah, if you send me the link on Signal, then I'll click it and have a quick look now. Yeah, so for this we've got metal here, this doesn't matter, caps here doesn't. This is maybe going to fling off. Oh, actually, I didn't reattach that bodge wire. I just attach that bodge wire back. Yeah, we're going to have to protect this and these, so maybe a barrier here. This I'm just going to see if it flings off or reattach. This I've just got to remember as well, so same thing, kind of remembering to cover them. So I think really we just need maybe a barrier down here, or I could come in with the hot air this way around and bring the hot air over. Nah, I think I still need to cover it. I don't want to have to think about the plastics. Yeah, Cinema 6K. Let me see visually. Blackmagic Cinema 6K versus Pocket 6K. I'll probably know from looking at it, maybe, which is which. Oh, apparently it's got, by the looks of it, it's got writing on the side. Full frame 6K or, yeah, so it'll say full frame if so. Of course mine says neither, so mine matches neither of the pictures. What other things would be obvious? I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's not got the big thing sticking up above. Now mind you, that's, yeah, neither of them are clear, but it's, I think mine's the newest 6K and it's not. I don't know, it's really hard to tell. It's almost like an Apple product, you've got a different version, you can't even tell looking at it which one it is. Aluminium tape, maybe. Yeah, I think we'll do tape. So let's barrier this off, and then I'm going to remove it completely. Clean it up, check if there's any bad traces. There's got to be bad traces, I'd say, because the sound is bad and it looks terrible. But hopefully the chip isn't bad. That would be like the worst thing. So to barrier this off, I'm just going to put tape down the side, but I don't want it physically touching these plastics. So see how this aluminium tape's stuck to the board there, and we've got a physical air gap between. A lot of people stick this, you know, like stick it to there and think you've done something, but that's just going to spread heat directly onto the plastic. So make sure when you barrier in, you leave a physical gap and it's stuck to the PCB, not the board. So now I can work on this probably, I reckon this way is nicest for me, and we're going to just hot air this off first. Plenty of flux, because I want to try and get that bubbling and some of that nasty corrosion cleaned up with just flux and heat to begin with. So plenty of flux. Get the extractor back on, don't know why I bothered turning it off. Let's go for this, maybe zoom out a little bit maybe. It's going to come in from above, start about the height of these at the minute, so I'm kind of the height of that chip, sort of going above like that. We'll preheat for about a minute and then I'll go close and it should come off within about a minute and a half, I'd say, at 400 Celsius. I think, to be honest, hot airing and soldering are two different techniques altogether, really. And 90% of hot air is about removing the chips. Like, you can hot air them back down, but you still just need to tin the pads with a soldering iron after, so you can learn them side by side, or you can learn them independently. And what we might end up with is all this corrosion here might stick this chip to the board, so it might be a little bit firm to remove as well. So I'm using a little bit of intuition here to figure out how long I'd expect this to take before it would typically lift off, and if it doesn't, we might have to use tweezers to lift up, because there we go. Let's move it out of the way. And while the heat's on, we probably want to go over this with an iron now, because if these pads are going to corrupt, they're going to do it now. And it looks like a lot of bad traces maybe, which is not ideal. So while the heat's on and everything's really nice and warm, do we even have any pads left? That is the question. That's not looking good. That's looking like a lot of trace damage. Oh yeah, it's left all rust on the underside of the chip as well. That's quite bad. That's a lot worse than I thought. So this probably needs some warm vinegar. And yeah, I think the board does as well. This is quite corroded. Maybe go get some warm vinegar. Back in a few minutes. Okay, so I thought instead of warming it up in the microwave and you guys waiting, why don't we just put this in something? That's what I didn't think of. What am I going to put it in to warm it up? I need like a glass container. Didn't think that one through. Let me go get a ramekin. Right then, so what I'm going to do is put some distilled white vinegar. It can be any vinegar, but distilled white's a bit cleaner. I'd normally microwave this, but so you guys can kind of see, I'm just going to hot air it instead. And this should get it nice and hot, and then we will dip in. I'm just going to drop the chip in. So probably, it's maybe in focus there. And then when this is warm, I'll drop this chip in, and hopefully we'll see it all bubbling. And then we'll tip some on the board as well and see how much damage there is. I mean, the customer's willing to pay anyway for get this repaired, but I was hoping this would just be a chip removal, clean up the pads, repair a few traces. If this ends up being the 15 traces that we might have to repair, this is going to be quite a bit more work, but hopefully it's not going to be that bad. Not even warm yet. I can see me shattering this ramekin. And you want the vinegar as hot as possible. Not quite bubbling, but you want it nice and hot, because it just makes the chemical reaction happen much faster. It's getting warm. This would definitely have been quicker to just do in the microwave for 30 seconds, but never mind. It's the engineer's approach. Where did I get my Doom chair? I think it was Overclockers. They're actually a massive company now, but they literally started in Stoke-on-Trent, and I knew them when they were a very small company. But now they're pretty much global now. They're absolutely huge. Like they have an absolutely massive warehouse, and I mean massive in Stoke. Like you're talking Amazon warehouse size. So they've obviously gone really large as a company. The thing that used to annoy me is they used to be in where were they first? I can't even remember where they were first. I think somewhere in I can't even think of the name of it. Yeah, brain's gone dead. Somewhere near Newcastle. It wasn't Newcastle, basically, like Newcastle under Lyme, not Newcastle up north. And then I used to go there all the time, live near them. And then I'd drive over, and all of a sudden they'd moved with no warning. So then I had to drive to the new place, which ended up being right near where I used to live afterwards. And then they moved again. I was like, what the hell keeps happening? They were moving like every 2 years. So whether they were just like outgrowing the places they were at, or whether they were getting some kind of deals for yeah, it's getting nice and warm now. Whether they're getting like deals for something to revamp things, I don't know. But now they've just got a massive warehouse in not really Hanley, like on a new build near Festival Park. Right, that's warm. Drop the chip in, and nothing. Okay, let's warm it up while it's in there. This normally bubbles away. It's kind of concerning we're getting no bubbles, which is indicating maybe this is actual rust, not electrolyte. So I think this is probably water damage, not yeah, we're getting no reaction at all really from the vinegar. Well, a little bit starting to happen there, but this has got rust on top of it more so than it's got electrolyte. Otherwise this would clear off rapid. This would be like literally 10 seconds in, this would be back to clean. So that's worse. That's not good at all. Yeah, that really isn't good, because that means we're down to abrasive cleaning, and that board is almost definitely going to have a lot of trace damage. Like, I'm pretty sure those yeah, that vinegar's toasty. So let me show you what would happen on electrolyte, because ow, that ramekin coiling. This is almost definitely electrolyte damage here. So let me show you what should happen, and then you'll know the difference, I guess, between cleaning up. I mean, that, to be honest, is probably going to be rust as well, saying that, because the other one is right by where the rust is. Let's just put some vinegar on this board. Yeah, nothing's reacting. Let me see if I can get you something with electrolyte damage so you can see what does happen. So here's what would normally happen. That's clearly rust and not good. So let's see. This is electrolyte damage. I could do with probably just taking that spring out a minute so I can show you how fast vinegar acts on electrolyte and how well it does, which is what I know it kind of looked like rust, but I was hoping it was actually electrolyte. Just remove this battery spring from this board. I'm not bothered about this board because it's just a donor, so I'm not trying to be gentle. Alright, so here's the vinegar, not even that warm. It'll work much better warm, but there's the green. That's what we were hoping for. And it would have just eaten away. Like, you'll see it neutralize all of that in a minute, and that'll come out looking almost new, in a sense. Like, all that green would just get eaten away. So that's what I was hoping for. And unfortunately, we are literally dealing with entirely rust. So, like I say, different problem altogether, unfortunately. Yes, not good. And then you can see as it cools down, because this is now barely warm, that slows down. But this, if you warm it up, I don't know how quickly this will show if I blast it with hot air to warm it back up. I normally get vinegar piping hot in the microwave, basically, and then this would have been done already. It'd be like literally completely clear of all that. So see, once it's warm again, it starts eating away. Let's try and get that nice and warm, and you can see it's just slowly all disappearing. But either way, that's not what this is. So I'm kind of addicted to just finish off that little bit of green now. I want to see it gone. Let's just warm this back up. There we go. And there you go, nearly all gone. And it is just crazy how it can look really bad, and then that's what I was, like I say, hoping it was going to end up being. Every single bit of the electrolyte, like this little chunk, would get eaten by the vinegar, but you've got to get it warm. So as it cools down, you can see how less and less reactive it becomes. But yeah, just normally microwave it, get it almost bubbling, chuck this in, and you can count to 10 and it's done. Whereas when it's cool, it takes a lot longer. Yeah, I think we'll be here forever and waiting for them last little dots. As much as a little bit of OCD wants to see that perfectly clean, you can see the point that that is going to end up being completely clean. But back to the bigger problem now. What do we do about this? And this is not a chip you can buy either. Whether this exact audio chip is on another SEGA, I'd have to look it up. It might be worth replacing this chip if it was, because these legs are going to be a nightmare to solder to, and they've got gunk like this. This rust is like jelly. Yeah, my thought is, like I say, baby Dremel-y stuff, but this is like glue. It's thick and gunky. Just do a quick Google on this chip, 3155476A. See if it's used in like Mega Drives, because if it is, I'll just rip one out of a Mega Drive and put a brand new one on. Because the other issue with this chip is, if this is rusted and there's any multi-voltage domains over here, yeah, look at the state of this, then we're dealing with a bigger problem still. Like, it could have damaged the chip internally. It's rare it does, because they're normally one voltage domain, but the level of rust on this is not good. So I'll get that off. IPA. 3155476A. I'm hoping it's like a SEGA, like a Mega CD, or better yet, just a Mega Drive audio chip. Knowing our luck, it won't be. Mega CD. Oh, cool. You're telling me it's on this board? Oh yeah, look at that. Now, why's that got resin on for a start? And why has it got black ink? Oh, it's got 2 ticks on, so that's good. Oh yeah, I've got way too many random things wrapped in this room. Let's take this one off then, so a customer can have a brand new one. Screw cleaning that up for now. Oh, is it my page? I told you. A lot of the stuff, when you search, when I don't know a search and it's my wiki that comes up, it's quite funny. So we'll take this one off instead. My one of my Mega CDs. Obviously, unfortunately, this means I'm going to have to donor a Mega CD. But obviously, the customer wants this working. I could then keep his audio chip as well and try and clean it up at a later date and try to not charge him too much. But Mega CDs aren't exactly cheap. But still, this is a lot more expensive than a Mega CD. So let's try and get this thing working first. And at least we know this is good because I've got 2 ticks on. This is a Mega CD 1, this will be. There. Oh, this should be. There we go. And we're free. So we have a decent chip now, which is this one. Yeah, I've tried and vinegar this chip, but it's fucked, it's rust. So that away. Now I guess we need to take a look at the board, because we've got a decent chip now, but this is the next problem. What do we do about this board? So I think the only thing we're going to be able to do here is abrasion, because this is rust, so it's we're going to have to use some kind of light abrasion. Let's see what we've got. Sandpaper's an option, yeah. I'm thinking of a baby Dremel type thing. Or maybe this. I'm just getting really careful on it. or yeah, basically wire wool. Yeah, I think it's going to be, like you say, a bit rough, isn't it? This one maybe, but harsh edge you can't get in. Yeah, maybe it's just sandpaper then, I reckon. Let's give that a go. So we'll get some, should really probably be water, but IPA will do. Bit of moisture on, and let's see what damage we're dealing with. A new piece. Yeah, it's not too bad. Not sure why we're seeing a ground plane here. It's like the annoying sort of 3-4 layer board. It's recoverable. It's just there's certain pads like these that don't want to sand down, and you don't want to go too far because these are now exposed enough. This is where I almost want to. Let's try on this corner pad that I think might be even. That might even be like a no connect them two, but you can't tell on this. Fiberglass pen, no, not usually the worst. I mean, in this case, it might actually work better on what's left, but probably can't even find me fiberglass pen because I never use them. It's got a red lid if I've still got it around here. No, I haven't got one to hand. Let's just try really lightly. So it's really lightly with a massive grinder. I probably should use my eyes for this one. Yeah, there's no pad there, basically. That's why they're not going down. I'm pretty sure as soon as you touch that, there's just nothing there. So I think these black bits that are left, like even without it on, we could maybe scrape over. Yeah, there's nothing there, look, pad's vanished. So that's why that's sanding down to black. The black is completely, yeah, there's nothing under it. It's, well, there isn't that little bit, but then here, it's kind of gone. Yeah, so those pads are literally non-existent. Because we need to get these back to, if they're not there, we need to just get rid of them. But they do literally appear to be, well, that one for sure, look, there's literally nothing left there. And then you've got this trace here that's also going to be mostly gone. Yeah, they just, look, as soon as you sand a little bit more, there's nothing all there. So I think this might be a microscope job so I can see properly. I'll probably have to scalpel these off and then plan what we're even going to do with this, because that's a lot of damage. No, this isn't caps. This is well, I doubt it's caps. This is This is probably water ingress from the Mega Drive cartridge slot, I'd say. At some point it's had a drop of moisture in, but it's then, oh yeah, because the cartridge slot's here. So moisture's probably got in this opening, pooled around here, and then just been there for years. So almost definitely moisture in the cartridge slot this will have been. So it's not crazy bad, but it isn't good. It's like in between the two. Could be worse, but it isn't exactly good. One of my eyepieces. That's focus for me, isn't it? Now focus for you. Yeah, so even though this is a pretty shitty camera, and that's meant to be in focus completely, but it looks blurry for you. This is, I can see now clearly. That's got a little bit of a pad left, but it's going to disappear. That one isn't going to survive. But these two pads, pretty sure these two pads are, don't go anywhere. There's no traces coming off either side that I can see. So this was this way. So top two pins, once you can get a pin out of this chip, which might be on my wiki. Top two pins, I'm guessing, are going nowhere. The one under here is going quite easily to a trace underneath, so there's nothing there, so we're going to have to recover pin 3. This is actually okay, I think. So we've got one pin we need to recover, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 pins we need to recover, so that's 5. So there's definitely 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 are absolute definites. And this one looks dicey. Actually, I think it's saved just in time. All them look okay. Yeah, so not actually terrible. There's 5 traces that we can see. This had, so these have just got a bit of residual rust on. Oh, you can't even see these things here. Yeah, so they're not used pins. Cool. So we have 3rd pin. Does it tell you what this 3rd pin is? I'm guessing it's VCC or ground. Looking at it, 'cause it's going under. It's quite a thick trace. In fact, I probably need to pull up the trace diagram myself, because there's quite a few pins we need to look into. Does my wiki have the pin out? Let's have a look. Mega CD. CD processor, this says. Is it a CD processor, not a sound, or have I just labelled it wrong on my... I think I've just labelled it wrong on my wiki, to be honest. Yeah, I've just... The overall view of the Mega CD I've labelled wrong, so... Like on this, I've labelled it... I've labelled this CD processor and this PCM sound, whereas it's the other way around, but then in the details I've actually wrote it correct. So like further down I write that the CD processor is this, so that's just a minor on my part. PCM sound here is that, so yeah, I just labelled it wrong. It's just a rebranded Rico PCM, so we can actually, we could buy another one if we didn't even have one, which is good. And then normally I put on pinouts like this, so I'm hoping I've maybe done pinouts somewhere, but it doesn't look like I have. No, but somebody else might have done a pinout already. So let me just have a quick search, see if I can find the pinout. No, I should probably add that to my wiki as well. Yeah, so it's just the Rico thing I'm looking for instead. RC5C164A. So that's the pinout. So this is what we're looking at. Where did you find the not used pins, by the way? You've got a different diagram. So RAM AX and WCLK1, which they're obviously not going anywhere. Yeah, the third one's VCC, which we suspected. So this big trace is VCC. So we don't necessarily need to go to this pad here. We could find it somewhere else. So we're not going under the chip. And then this pad here further down, if it's VCC, and that's ground. So this one missing is ground, that's easy. And then we got RAM A14, RAM AD, that's like video RAM, AD0 and AD1. So these two can easily just be bridged to there. This is ground, this is power. So luckily all the bad traces are fairly easily recoverable, and this one, actually, and that one as well. So this isn't actually bad at all as such. This is fairly easily recoverable, even if we don't see where they're going. So we just need to check on continuity where these are going. So we've got this one. Well, we can see that trace makes it to there, so we know this run of a trace is fine. This gets up to there clean. That gets to there clean. That's fine. That's fine. 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 This one's a bit dodgy. Let's just check this. He's fine. So we're lucky there. So we need VCC here, which let's find out where VCC is. So I'm just thinking, can we run a wire to somewhere? You guys can probably, mind you, I need to look under the scope myself. So this one we might actually run a wire under. Maybe. Yeah, it might be. The bubbling up might be caused by power. So yeah, these two are the power input and output. So these might have bubbled and then corroded around, and then this bubbled and corroded around. So it's probably is that basically. Yeah, it's a good call, that, as that will be what happens. Similar to when you're electroplating, where the current runs is where you'll get your activity. So it probably was that. Right, so you can't see on there. Turn them off a minute. Oh, wrong one. So on here, for this pad under here, goes to the top of this cap. So we can run from this third pin, instead of bridging under and having a wire, which I could do, but then the chip isn't going to sit flat, and I want it to be nice and flat. We'll run a wire over to here. So this one will just be a bodge wire to here, third pin. These two go nowhere. These two we can just solder to them pads or the traces. This, and this can all go to traces. And then the ground, we might as well just tap off this here. So we'll just do a bodge wire from here and here to ground and VCC, and then chuck the chip back down. So not too bad at all, actually. Well, we've had to replace the chip as well, which isn't the best, but let's get this back on then. So there's nothing else to do but flux and solder this on, and then remember, third pin over is top, and the one that has no trace visible is bottom, and everything else we can see. So let's tin these back up, get this chip back down. So that was a big save, because this has been a bit more work than just the basic diagnostics I've charged, and the chip is the kind of the problem. I'm going to have to see if I can source the chip separately, so I can just charge the customer for what a chip would cost, as opposed to having to donor a Mega CD, because that'd be more expensive. But it sounds like it's just a rebranded chip, so hopefully I can source a replacement chip much cheaper than donoring this Mega CD I've got. That's all the solder on. Hot air time, so let's cover this board back up. With hot air. Oops, picked up a screw along the way. I am beating it some. There we go. New chip. This one. And let's go. Chuck him back down. No, I don't think we've ever come across anything like the VDP so far. Like I said, I've done this for years on the hot air side of things, and the only chip I've ever known to die from too much hot air has been that Game Gear VDP. And I think somebody mentioned that it's probably just like a bond wire at the top of the VDP somewhere that's like too close to the top. And it just gets torched, so it's probably more of almost a flaw in the design, I'd say, than anything. That's that on. They can survive the heat, which is good. Yeah, from factory they'll just go through a proper reflow oven that only gets it up to like 280 degrees. Just a reflow. I used to own one, like a reflow oven, like a proper industrial one, that just follows a temperature profile, whereas your hot air in a lot hotter than a reflow oven is, just partly due to time and speed, but you'd have to do the entire board soaked in heat to do it, the other way. Oh yeah, I what did I put? I put something in it that wasn't electronics when I had it, but I can't remember what it was. It wasn't a pizza though. I am tempted to put electronics in my pizza oven though, do the other way around. Right, so let's double check. We got no damage to the plastics, flawless, which is what we want. This was the concern. We didn't want to damage him. And he's totally fine. Obviously, plastic's fine here. This ram chips. This bodge wire is on. That bodge wire survived, so everything survived the heat. Now we just need to fix the traces. So I'm going to go under the microscope for this one because I need to see what I'm doing. And zoom in. Probably turn it this way maybe. Now, I know what I need to be careful of here. Definitely, I'm going to put that foil back on. Using my iron while looking under the scope and melting the cartridge connector. I know that's going to happen if I don't do this. So, let me physically just wrap that. So what I've done on there, but you can't see on there. Move that out of the way maybe. Zoom out. I'm just physically wrapping the cartridge connector there because I'm going to be using my iron while looking under the scope and doing this. So I can see me accidentally touching that. Probably better cover the sensitive switch as well, just to be sure. Trust me, I know from experience when you're looking under a scope, you can forget where your iron is. So, just a physical block like that will do. And now come back under here. I need to see what I'm doing there. So, that I just can't get over how bad focus this is. I'm well annoyed that that mechanic thing didn't work because we would have had a really nice view now. But instead, you've got this kind of shitty view, but I need it for my. It's like more important that I can see than that you guys can see. So let's go on these pins and try to remember what the hell I said we were doing. Because I'm getting hungry, and tired. So. This will clean the tip. So that one is going nowhere, so let's just touch them up anyway, just because I want to see the pins looking nice. Third pin, already forgot. Is this third pin the one we need to recover? It is, isn't it? So fourth pin is fine, fifth pin, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth. So this one is too far away to just bridge. I can't even see. Well, yeah, it's that bad you literally can't see. Ooh, another sub. So this one here, you kind of can't see is missing a trace. This one, missing a trace, just the lighting's terrible for you. So these two we need to bridge with a little bit of a wire. And to be honest, I can probably do it not under the scope, because these are, for me, quite big traces, to be honest. So there. Right, let's get the enameled wire. Maybe turn this around this way. There we go. Maybe zoom out a bit as well, because I think it's a bit clearer for you if I zoom out, so I can still see. I think I've tried this a million times, but let me have a look at this crappy little menu thing, see if we can do anything about it. I'm sure we've done this before. Yeah, third pin's got to go to center cap. Brightness, let's see. Increasing brightness. Makes it a little bit better. I reckon contrast is maybe the problem we've got with this. No, it's more like the glare. I don't know if that's helped at all or not. It's got rid of some of the blackness, I guess. Yeah, it's a little bit better. Can't wait to sort this camera view out though. Right, enamel wire. So we will do them one at a time. I'm going to strip down the end of this wire. We'll go on third pin, we said, didn't we? Third pin to the top of cap, so third pin. There we go. This iron is so good. Yeah, I've had multiple people ask me as well off stream, like, is the iron really any good? I'm like, honestly, it is. Like, I've had, I think, about 4 people that are genuinely wondering if it really is good, and I'm like, I'm not bullshitting just because I'm on stream. I think it's because it's a battery iron, similar to what my big concern with it was, and I even mentioned it to JBC before we even did anything. I said, my biggest concern if you're going to send me a battery iron is that it's not going to be capable enough, and I don't want it to be like a bad representation. And they just said, like, you know, if it's not capable enough, we'll send you something else. But other than me getting used to it, which, like I say, it does definitely teach you to solder better, I am saying hands down, of all the irons I've ever used, including a £700 Weller, this battery powered JBC is insane. Like, I never have to even think about soldering now. It's give a whole new way of thinking with connections, like especially little pins and things, and solder flowing the way you want it to and stuff. It really is good. Like, yeah, I just can't get over it's battery powered. That's like the biggest thing in your head, I think, because I've had battery powered Hackos, I've had battery powered something else's, like multiple battery powered irons that aren't exactly cheap brands, and they're exactly what they are. They're just battery powered and shit. But this one is literally, for a battery powered iron, better than all the mains powered top end brands. Like I said, that's why I'm going to probably ask them if they'll send me a Nano, and even if they don't, I'm going to buy it with my own money, I'm pretty sure, because I want an excuse to have 2 of them so I don't have to change tips. But it should be the comment on our website from now on. I don't know if I think about. Yeah, to be honest, it does. It's I look at pins now and just think, where normally I know, oh god, this is going to be dry jointed, or I'm going to have to use flux. You just see me going in with the iron on pins that aren't, like, you would genuinely need flux for any other iron to do this. Actually, we need to strip this down a bit further. We need quite a large length of enamelled wire to bridge these gaps. This is why I preferred my my new wire with the wire stripper, because stripping enamelled wire, I forgot how annoying it is. Let's use the top of this as a flux bed that I can dip into, because even though the pins don't need the flux, the damn wire does. There we go. So now we can bridge, where are you? This one I think is missing. Let me zoom in a bit. Send me the pins, cool. Yeah, I should, god, that is so bad. That's like, it's like 1K quality. That's like a Nokia from the 90s camera technology. For me, it's super clear, but for you guys, that's awful. And you know what, I'm gonna try without that, because it's driving me nuts even looking at such low quality image. Let's go to the overhead Blackmagic. See if we can do this through that. So let's get to there. Zoom in on that. So this is a digitally zoomed Blackmagic camera. I still think that's better than the microscope, like for you guys. I mean, that's as good as I can get it there. Or just, well, to be honest, yeah, by the time you've digitally zoomed, I think maybe just go back to the microscope now. It's just annoying because I see it super clear on the microscope, and then I look at the screen and I'm like, oh, it looks awful. But yeah, look at that. No, it does better on the Blackmagic, but I mean, you can see. That's the important thing for now. You can see what I'm doing. So this is the pin that wants to go to that trace there. Let's get on that trace. Press down. Pin. Trace. Solid. Cool. So that's exactly what I'm trying to say. A lot of focus, you think? Yeah, there. This is still bad, that's terrible. I will get. See, now I've sent the other mechanic back. Well, I've sent that mechanic back, but now I've just got to look for another sensor. I mean, I do have a Canon 1D Mark III and a 7D. It's just they're a pain in the arse to set up on, like, sitting on the top of your microscope. They'd be huge. So I've got lenses that would probably work, but I think just it's either find another seller of that mechanics. I have seen people use it and it wasn't a problem. Whereas for me, it literally wouldn't work. It showed HDMI once and then never again. So it could just be I was in, bad luck. Or I can just go with another brand of scope that's got that lens in. Come on, bugger off bridge, there you go. Right, so you're on the pin. You're on the trace. There you go. I mean, I even have other scopy cameras, but it's like there's a haze to the whole image. That's what's annoying. Oh, me. Oh, that's just free floating in there. I wonder if I remove that. Is that a bit better? I think that's a bit better, isn't it? Than that, or is that just? That's got a little bit of haze, hasn't it? Doing that versus, yeah, that is a little bit clearer. I'm going to leave that light off. That's me. That's my super fancy polarized light. That is actually making that. That's actually quite a bit clearer. Huh. Okay, doesn't like polarized light. I mean, it could be big fat fingerprints all over it, but let's leave that off for now because that is definitely clear. That's better. That's like, I mean, it's still not great, but it's better. What about taking off the Barlow lens? Now, this means I'm going to have to go really close, like really close, and probably adjust everything to now see this, but why am I doing this midstream at the end of the day? Let's go down. I told you I'd have to go really close. I'm going to have to lower my chair. Look, oh, mind you can't tell from that angle, but the scope's gone from up here to we're now like a hand's width away, and I'm still not low enough. So, well, let me see if this. Oh, yes. That's getting better. Now I've just got. Sorry, but the face cam is gonna. Goodbye. There we. Oh my God, that's clearer. Now I really want a. I really want better optics now for me. I wish Leica would get back to me. Like, do I drop $2,000 in my own money on a Leica microscope, or do I hold out hoping they'll sponsor the streams? Oh, this is so much clearer. I'm gonna have to adjust the face cam now. I'm like a little child in a seat. So, oh, you literally can't tell. Yeah, bye-bye. I've had to lower myself down. Yeah, that's now acceptable. That, like, it can be better, but that's acceptable. Right, so that one needed to go off to the top of the cap. Oh, we did it, didn't we? That one's on. That one's joined, that one's joined. So the next one, this is the bottom of the cap. So this one, oh, iron's upside down. Geez, what am I touching here? This is a weird angle to get into. This one there is top of the cap. Well, I'm not used to working this low. This is weird. It's throwing me off. Let's strip this down. I'm touching my aluminium foil, so it's a good job I did put the aluminium foil on, because that is literally what I'm hitting with. Is 0.5? 0.5 is zoom. I don't know. I'm going to say I've got another. I'm not going to change even more, but I look through here and I'm nowhere near as zoomed in as what's on screen. But I've got a 0.3 reduction lens. This is a 0.5, but I'm trying to think, is 0.5 going to be, it should be 0.5 reduction and 0.3 would be even more reduced, as in zoomed out further, or is it going to be the inverse logic? Because if I put a 0.3 on, we'd be able to zoom out more, but then I'm guessing we're also going to end up with the wrong focal distance, so this will do for now. Right, so this one, yeah, it's so much better. That's like almost usable for you guys. Ooh, I think I do that every single one. So that's on. See, just pin soldering like that. So good. Now what I've got to be careful of is this pad's exposed actually, so let's do this another way around. Let's put this up here, out the way of that pad. Come on, bend up. There we go. So I'm gonna put him up there. I mean, that looks that does not look in position on your view, but trust me it is. Let me just align that better so you see, like that. So oh, we're actually fully zoomed out there as well, because now we're super zoomed in. Like this is why I've got that Barlow lens on. This is how close you can now get. So look at that. That's what you call a microscope. So you can see how well the fillet, you know when I say show you the fillets of the connections, look at the ones I've flowed there, them two, where they've got a fillet on, and then look at the ones I haven't, that I've just hot aired. That, like, that fourth one there has just been hot aired. So even though it's on, it looks ragged compared to like how the JBC's made that nice connection there. But yeah, this is going up there. That's max zoom out. So the scope really is the scope now. But I suppose that's the kind of the point of it. When you're using the scope, you want to be zoomed in. So I'm going to leave it like that. I'll just have to lower my chair down every time I want to use the scope until I get a better optics. But again, it doesn't help that I'm using little Chinese Barlow lenses. But I've got loads of them, but that's a reduction lens. That shouldn't be adding too much to it, but it obviously does. So he's going to go over now to the bottom of the cap. So for this, I will cut out. Oh yeah, you can go way closer than this as well with them. It's crazy. I think you go up to about 1,000 times zoom before before light can't enter the scene enough, and that's why you have to go to like electron microscopes and stuff, which I still kind of want one for no reason. I've got no use for it other than coolness. Where are we? Oh geez, I'm not zoomed in. I don't know where the hell I am. There. So I mean, you really don't need to be this zoomed in to solder onto a cap, but let's have a go. So strip the end of that. And let's do a bit of flux for the sake of it. Let's go nice and clean. And let's see the JBC soldering under crazy microscope magnification. If I could get the wire to actually touch onto the board, let me bend him down a minute. There we go. You can go into the hole. There we go. Put a bit more soldering. Let's make him like a solid joint. There's the solder. Wrong side of the iron. There we go. And then I can't believe that's like the most zoomed out I can go. Yeah, that's way clearer though. Look how nice that is. It's definitely it's all the optics paths. What do I waste my money on first? Do I go with a compound objective microscope, a CM or whatever it stands for, so we get a flat plane and that'll give us way more visual? I can go with a better capture thing above the lens, what we've got at the minute. So this actual camera above the lens, which should make this much better. Or I can replace, mind you, yeah, it's one of them two really. One's a few £100, one's a few thousand. Alright, we've got one trace left, I think, which is the one next to that. It's just got to have a little bridge. And then there's no way I'm assembling this tonight, unfortunately. You're going to have to wait until tomorrow till we do an assembly on this to see if it works, because I know how much of a pain it was. Camera with lens would be the best. Maybe, like, yes and no. I think, to be honest, if I'm going to end up blowing $3,000 on a microscope, I'd probably spend the extra 200 or 300 on the lens at the same time. So it'd probably be, oh, my stupid thing is now, my tip cleaner is trying to kill itself, so JBC can send me one of theirs. Every time I'm cleaning the tip, it's now staying on. Yeah, I think if I don't want to spend too much money, it'll be the camera on top. But if I want, like, I don't know, I'll see better through the, that's on, it just doesn't look nice. I'll see better through the compound microscope more than you'll see the benefits as such. But it will also enhance the HDMI capture on top of it as well, because the path is a straight down, clear, planar path. So they'll both enhance it. The sensible thing is to spend a few £100 first. But I'll see what I feel like. So I think we are all repaired there. Unless I'm forgetting something, which I don't think I am. So that's now, we've got, oh, and I know what a lot of it can be as well. Was it around the, it was like light bleed, and the camera can cause some of that flaring, but it's not there. Is it maybe the side lighting? No, see, if I block out both lights, that's how bad the lighting is. It's like, yeah. Wonder now if we go back into the menu as well and try and improve that a little bit. Brightness back down, maybe. Brightness up. Yeah, so the brightness isn't doing massive amounts of anything, it is just brightening the image. Contrast, see, the contrast loses definition, but if you go too dark, then you can't see anything anyway, regardless of brightness. So maybe brightness all the way up and contrast just enough. But it's mainly the metallic reflections on this lens are the biggest problem. So I don't think we're getting much better than that from this camera. I think that's like as good as it gets. And then, like, yeah, you're not really. Yeah, you're not going to get any better than that. But it's massive improvement for what we've got now. It's like not hazy as it basically is the key. So that's usable. Yeah, so we have, that can go off now. We're done soldering. We have this one is to the top of the cap, which is ground. These two go nowhere. This one we need to just check goes to there. So let's just do, we don't need the massive zoom now. Let's go back to this view. Take that off. I can now come up in my chair and just sit on the floor. There we go. Let's clean up a bit first as the last check, and then I'll do an assembly tomorrow when I'm fresh. I don't want to have to do all of a reassembly that could be an absolute pain. I've already had a very long day. We go into there. And the wire back. we are all tidied up on my desk. Oh yeah, definitely. Rusty will have had his tea by now. Oh, my neck being that low. Right, zoom in. Oh, we are fully zoomed in. So, why does that not seem very bright now? I'm not used to the other camera now. It doesn't seem very bright. Where are we? So yeah, that pin goes over to the cap over here. That pin we need to check. That's what we're doing. Checking continuity. That it goes to where it looks like it goes to. So that means this pin here should go to this. Wow, I don't need more lighting. It's definitely gone darker. I don't understand how the top down's gone dark when I've got extra lighting. Okay, we'll bleach it with light for now. That's going to there. That one. There. There. This one is a recovered trace up to there, which it is. This one recovers up to the edge of there. Probably gonna have to, yep, remove. That one's the bottom of the cap. This one is recovered to there. That one should already go to there, which it does. That one, for good measure, goes to there. Yeah, so all the dodgy ones are definitely recovered now. So I think that is hopefully a WonderMega recovered and working. So it's had a full recap. I think Zach's finished all the other boards. I've now done 11 caps out of that. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think he's got like 2 caps left. It'll finish off in the morning. So we'll build this one up tomorrow then. I think that's all the stream will be tomorrow, is the reassembly and the testing, because that's going to be probably still going to take me an hour to do. It was not easy to disassemble, and we got to remember where all the screws go as well. That one goes with him. Those are on there. It's mainly these. You actually see these ones. These screws here, when we took them off at the last bit to get them out, they're the ones that we haven't really got taped in. Yeah, I thought that with the overhead being a bit closer, but I know what it'll be. It would have been, but it was this face cam, which was then using an adapter, because that fit. Well, actually, yeah, it was using an adapter, but it cropped the sensor down by 0.67, which is, I can show you on. I'll go to the overhead and zoom out, because then I need to take the lens off this side camera to show you. Wherever the button's gone. So what you do is you use these Metabones adapters when they don't fit in, so speed boosters. So it's going to crop the sensor to 0.7, which effectively means it's going to punch in. Because the studio, this thing here, needs a crop, it was cropping this overhead by 30% effectively. So we were getting 30% more zoom. But then because I've changed it to the Blackmagic Pocket 6K, that's a full frame sensor. So it's gone straight into the Canon lens. So yeah, it used to be zoomier, which I could probably still speed boost. Might be better, because I don't know. Because the thing is, I think the zoom, this is fully zoomed out. I think this is a bit too close for fully zoomed out sometimes. But I don't know. Let's have a look, see if I've got a standard speed boost in here, like a what's it one? Canon. Yeah, I've got one there, I think. Along with random, like $4,000 lenses, we could use that. In fact, what about we try that? Oh, this one can't be zoomed. That was why. We were using a proper Cine lens. I think that's what it was. Let's try. Why not? This is all attached with wires, actually. That's going to be a pain. Now let's see. Let's hold it in one hand while I do this. Is this going to go straight on or not? I think this will go straight on. The problem is, this is wide in. Why am I doing this? No idea. Move that out of the way. Oh, and of course it goes the wrong side of the wood. Do I rest my very expensive lens on the ceiling? Ooh, yeah, okay. It's resting there. I think this fits on. Yep. Ooh, that other lens is ready to fall off. Ooh, I just nearly dropped the other really expensive lens. There we go. So that is cinema glass, which no, I don't think that was the reason. No, that's way less zoomy and shaky. Can brighten it up like that, focus in. But that's cinema glass, which is, you can see the difference in quality though. That's like true cinema glass, but that's as zoomy as it gets. So even though that's really nice, the reason it was zoomier before then was the fact it was on the studio camera, which, oh yeah, that's what I wanted to try. I've also got an extender. I've got this thing. Let's give this a go. We might be able to zoom in a bit more if this fits in the lens. It might not do because these stupid speed boosters don't let you fit it in all the time. Oh yeah, it does. But this is similar to the microscope. This might make it worse because we're going to lose some light now. Let's see. What am I going to have to adjust? Just that for now. And then fully zoom in maybe. Now is that? Oh yeah, look at that aberration there. See the ghosting? So obviously it's not in focus, but when you're in focus, yeah, it's messing focus up. That's what happens when you mix cinema grade glass with consumer grade speed boosters. That's back in, and now we can lower that back in, pull focus again, and yeah, we're back to there. So yeah, and you see how you don't have the aberration now, it's nice and clean. So yeah, that's just where we're at with that lens. We can pull focus on that one. Yeah, so that's what we've got basically with the equipment I've got at the minute. So I think the only way I could do that is swapping. I mean, the other thing I can do is technically just bring this camera physically down more, but the focus, like the minimum focus distance, you can already see. This is like, well, if we go, say we go up and pull focus as far up as we can get, we're there, right? So that's focused there, and then if I swap to this side, I've got that much. So that's how far off the desk something can be, like 3 inches, and we've lost focus because that's the focus plane. So if we went any lower with the physical camera to get zoomed in more, we haven't got the focus depth. So we're really pretty much where we are with, I think, the setup for that. And I don't think there's any other lens I've got that's more suitable. So that's that. So yeah, I'll pretty much catch you guys tomorrow. Oh, this little crappy speed booster can go back in. Oh yeah, I was just about to say, let's hope yours is not that bad. we need to do is get rid of the vinegar so my room doesn't smell of vinegar. And then, yeah, microscope just stays low for now. Yep, so see you guys tomorrow.